So now we can discuss nth term. We will specifically only talk about the nth term. We now know some of the basics, that is the first term. It can be called as A. Suppose if you are talking about two different arithmetic progressions simultaneously, we can call the first term of the first arithmetic progression as A probably, and second arithmetic progression, the first term can be called as B. There is no rule that always it has to be A. This is just a convention. Next, the fixed term. The fixed number, which is also called as common difference. Common difference. This is denoted by D. These are the two notations which we have already seen. And using this, we have given general notations for all the other terms also. Using that idea, we can say the last term, which is also called as AN, or the nth term. Now we will concentrate on this nth term, how it can be written in its general form. Its general form is A, as you remember, A is there in almost all the terms, plus there is this D, but what is that coefficient of D? It should be one lesser than this subscript here. So n minus 1 into D. We can treat this whole thing as a formula. I suggest that you write this formula a couple of times and try to understand it. It's not good to mug up or memorize without understanding it. Rote memory will not be useful here. Try to understand what this means exactly. See, it is not just like an is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. No. Nth term is first term plus one less number than the subscript into the fixed digit or fixed number or the common difference. If you understand the meaning of the formula, then you can face any kind of problem. So now I'll be dealing with this formula and how to use it, what are the different ways of expressing it. We will discuss that. Now let us have some discussion on this nth term. So if this is nth term, and what is probably third term? Third term can be written as A3. Then what all things do you know about A3? First term must be A plus, in place of n, I have written 3. So in here also on the right hand side, n will be replaced with 3. N will be replaced with 3 minus 1 into D, because D and A I have not discussed particularly for this problem. So I keep them as A and D themselves. Now further simplification can be done. A plus 3 minus 1 is 2 D. So for a particular case here, the third term can be written as A plus 2D, which we already knew it. I just wanted to show you how by applying this formula you will get the answer. Now, let us take some other examples. Example, if this is AN, what is AN plus 1? Pause the video, try to write what it is and try to simplify. Let us match up with the answers when you come back. So once you have unpaused the video, let us compare. A, because always first term, plus, in place of n, see, in place of n, I have n plus 1. So I have to replace that n with n plus 1. So n replaced with n plus 1. This n is replaced with n plus 1. minus 1 into D. Now, if we simplify, an plus 1 is equal to a plus 1 minus 1 cancels. It is n into D. N into D. That is your an plus 1. I hope it is clear. Now let us have a look at what are other options are there. There are many other cases we will discuss here one by one. Now if in case of n, if there were other numbers like constant numbers or other expressions, what will happen? Let us try a few examples. One of them is, what is an minus 2? How will you write this? This is the nth term, this is the n minus second term. N minus 2 indicates n minus second term. N minus second term, obviously a should be there, plus n should be replaced with n minus 2. So n will be replaced with n minus 2. This is n minus 2. See, this underlining I am doing to highlight. There is no rule that you have to underline. Minus this. See, there are two minus signs here, two negatives. This one is n minus 2 replaced instead of n. Okay? This another minus is from here. What do you see? These two are the same, one and the same. Then comes 1 into D. Further simplification, a plus n minus 2 minus 1 becomes minus 3 into D. We may simplify if you want, like a plus n into D, nd minus 3 into D, 3D. This is a n minus 2. Now, what we will do is, we will see what are the different kinds of problems we can solve using this formula. So, first of all, what are the different variables that appear in this formula? First, there is an. An is the last term. A, which is the first term. N, which is the number of terms. D, which is the common difference. So now, what are the rules we need to remember? An, A, D, all these three can be a positive number, can be a negative number. They may be natural numbers or rational numbers. They can be 0, they can be decimals, they can be fractions. But n, however, remember, should be always a natural number. I would want everybody to remember this. N always should be a natural number. Okay? Now, let us look at what are the different kinds of problems that we can have. First thing, first type is finding out an. Finding an is the first type of problem that we have. Example, so I have just formed a short question. In the arithmetic progression 2, 5, 8, so on, find the 11th term. What is the 11th term? So, in this case, we know A is equal to 2. A is the first term. D. In order to find out D, we have to subtract any two consecutive terms. So, here I am going to subtract A1 from A2. That is, I am subtracting the first term from the second term. Here second term is 5. So 5 minus, whenever you substitute the values, put brackets, minus A1. A1 is the first term, which is 2. So that is equal to 3. So we got our D, we got our A, and now we have to find out N. See, how many number of terms are there? The last term is 11th term. The last term is 11th term, means A11 is what you have to find out. A11 is what you have to find out. In place of n, what is there? 11 is there. So, n is equal to 11. So, in the formula, you got A, which is 2, n, which is 11, d, which is 3. With these three variables having their values, we can find out the unknown variable, that is an. Let us try to solve that. So, the known values I have written here of the variables. So, let me try to find out the unknown. I am writing this formula with their values here. Let me substitute an remains an, I don't know the value, which is equal to a is 2 plus n, which is 11. So, 11 minus 1 into d is 3. Let me simplify that. 2 plus 11 minus 1 is 10. Sorry. So, I will write here 2 plus 11 minus 1 is 10 into 3, which is equal to 2 plus 10 3 is 30. 30 plus 2 is 32. So, here we go. The nth term, which is nothing but actually n can be replaced with the n may be replaced with 11. So, now we know it is A11 is equal to 32. So, this is one kind of problem. The second type of problem is where we have to find out A or the first term. Remaining all we will be knowing. Example, if we say, let us try to consider the same problem which we did earlier. From the same problem, I am going to see it from another direction. Okay, the AP remains same, the arithmetic progression remains same. So what happens is, here I am not giving you the first term. Instead of 2, 5, 8, giving the question like that, the question I am going to change. The 11th term is 32 and the common difference is 3. This is the same problem. I am just looking at it in a different way. 11th term is 32, we got at the end, remember? So, I am taking that as the part of the question which we already know. So, given A11 or 11th term is 32 and the common difference is 3. Find A. A is question mark. How to solve this? Same, again same equation. I take the same formula, substitute all the known quantities. An becomes A11. This n is replaced with 11 is equal to, be careful here, A don't know, A remains as A, n, can you see n is replaced with 11. So 11, this n is replaced with 11 minus 1 into d is 3. Simplify this. A11 value you know. Whenever A11 is there, put 32. So A11 remove it. Write 32 is equal to A plus 11 minus 1 is 10 into 3. Next step, 32 is equal to A plus 30. This plus 30 comes to the other side, becomes minus 30. So 32 minus 30 is equal to A. How much is 32 minus 30? Difficult, isn't it? 2. Okay. A is equal to 2. So you got the answer. A is equal to 2. Now for the third kind of problem. That is, unknown will be n. We will know all the remaining things. Example, if an is equal to 32, if an is equal to 32, the last term is 32 and first term is 2 and difference is 3. See, I am talking about the same AP again. Only thing is, I am keeping the number of terms as a question mark. But we already know that the number of terms is 11 in the previous issues, on the previous problems. We will keep it 11 itself. That should be our answer. Now, so find out n. Let me note down. N is equal to question mark. Same formula once more. An value is 32. So 32 equal to A, which is 2, good, plus n minus 1 remains as it is because I don't know n. D value remains 3. Simplification. Plus 2 comes to the other side, becomes minus 2. 32 minus 2 is equal to, here apply distributive property, 3 into n. 3 into n, 3n minus, see, plus into minus 3 ones are 3. Next step, 32 minus 2. 30 is equal to 3n minus 3. Minus 3 comes to the other side, becomes plus 3. So 30 plus 3 is equal to 3n. 30 plus 3 is 33. So 33 is equal to 3n. If 33 is 3n, what happens to this 3? When it comes to the other side, becomes divided by 3. So 33 divided by 3. I'll write here. 33 divided by 3 is equal to n. 3 becomes divided by 3. 3 ones are, 3 11s are. So n is equal to 11. There you go. You got the number of terms. Same, right? Now for the fourth type of problem, where we know a and n, but we don't know d. D will be unknown. So let us see how that problem looks like. We write a11 is equal to 32 and a is equal to 2. Okay? Find d. Question looks small and simple. Let us see how we solve it. So an is replaced with a11. So a11 is equal to a, which is 2, plus n. See, n is replaced with 11. So 11 minus 1 into d. D you have to find out. We need to find out d. So a11 value is 32. So replace a11 with 32. Plus 2 comes to the other side, becomes minus 2. So be careful here. A11 I replaced and moved 2. Both the steps I did in one step. So 32 minus 2 is equal to 11 minus 1 is 10 into d. 10 into d is 10d. 32 minus 2 is 30, which is equal to 10d. So what is d? Bring into 10 to the other side, it becomes divided by. So 30 divided by 10 is equal to d. 10 ones are, 10 threes are. So answer is d is equal to 3. Thank you.